What's happening, YouTube? I am Brett the Comic Novice, bringing my 10 plus months of experience of reading comics into reviewing Aquaman, the Year of the Villain series, which focuses on issues 50 through 55. And yes, according to the thumbnail, this is the tale of two stories. Yes, so Year of the Villain. I will be doing a review of all of the Year of the Villain issues. Why? Because that's when I started collecting comics, and I focused on Year of the Villain because, well, it sounded very intriguing. So, starting off, issue number 50, Aquaman. According to the title, it is called Black Manta Returns. So, the creators, Kelly Sue DeConnick, Robertson Roca, however you pronounce those two. And so, yeah, let's get into this. This comic starts off in 1792 with this ship, this guy right here, who is very important to the story. And he and his family are traveling, and a storm arises, and everybody in his family drowns except for him. He decides to build a lighthouse. And then we transport back into modern day because this was all being told by this woman right here, whose importance in the storyline escapes me at the moment. And she suddenly realizes she hears something. And when we go to that, we see that she's screaming, yelling, running out of the door of this group, that he's alive. Hot damn! And then, as we see the boat, we see Aquaman triumphantly, basically on the front of the boat, and she screams, "Aquaman lives." Now, I guess, being new to comics, I did not know that Aquaman had died. So perhaps this will explain. This is called Amnesty Part 1, Amnesty Bay. So we get to the story. Here's a boy whose mom baked a cake. They're very excited, and Wonder Woman decides to drop by just to see. Yes, Aquaman is alive. I wonder where he has been for a while. Then the boy gets the cake dropped. She decides to ignore the reporters and help the boy bring the cake to Aquaman. She also tells the reporters that she's very interested in finding out where Aquaman has been. So Aquaman decides to tell us how much he loves cereal. And then there's the cake, and then Wonder Woman tries to ask him a couple questions, and he just kind of is very defiant. Then we find out that Aquaman also wants to eat cake the same way that he eats cereal, cutting it and putting it in bowls, which is so far... Wait, just one second. It's called Black Manta Returns. All right, I'm about a fourth of the way through, and all we're doing is eating and... Okay, well, I didn't read the story ahead of this because, like I said, this is my jumping on point. I did pick it up, The Unspoken Waters, but... So now we go down to Atlantis, and we have Mera, who is pregnant, and she's getting ready to plan a wedding. And who is she going to be marrying? Aquaman? No, she's going to marry that guy. I don't know why. To keep the peace, and because people of Atlantis hate Aquaman or whatnot. Oh yeah, by the way, she's also pregnant, if I didn't mention that, which is very important. And then we go back to Amnesty Bay. And wait, just one second. Here's the staples. We are halfway through the story. Black Manta returns. Okay, back to the story. So we have these sea gods that came back with Aquaman. Maybe, oh look, this guy has tattoos. Maybe that's why he has tattoos, and he looks like Jason Momoa from the movie, because the movie was released in December 21st, 2018, and this was released in July, I believe, 18th or something like that, 2019. So about 7 months later. So we have more conversations. We are painting, eating food. I don't know. Ooh, look at that. We have somebody peering from the sea. Oh, All right, Aquaman, or not Aquaman, Black Manta's returning. No, this is actually, we're going back in time because this is what the Amnesty Bay Lighthouse looks like. This is what it looked like way back in the 1700s or early 1800s. Then we have this cool sea monster. Wait, just one second. Just want to check. Black Manta returns. Okay, just wanted to check. This sea monster, which is drawn awesomely, is coming out of the ocean. Here is the captain who built this lighthouse, and we find out that he disappears and has never been seen from again. And now we are talking about other stuff, which doesn't seem to be important because this is called Black Manta Returns. And still not no Black Manta Returns. Back to Amnesty Bay. We're having a fun road trip. Yee-hoo. And then we find out, okay, we're almost done with the book. Still no Black Manta Returns. And we get this phone call. And Aquaman says, hello? It says, Aquaman. Oh, man, I can't believe I got you. Boy, you have no idea how happy I am to hear your voice. Is this really you? Okay, so he just keeps on going on. Who the heck is this, essentially? Oh, right. And we have Jackson, Aqualad, the future Aqualad. This is Black Manta's son. Okay, still no Black Manta. We are almost done. Oh, look, prologue. Now we are going deep into an underground layer, into the sea, and we see Black Manta. Oh, good. Black Manta appeared in the prologue. This is a bigger issue, so we had probably about 30 pages of silliness. Because this is the offer, here is Lex's underwater, whatever you want to call it. And he gives Black Manta an offer. And that's the end of that book. So, issue 50, to me, quite dull. So we get to the next one, Dark Gifts. Okay, so we've just previously been given a gift of this, and it's called Mecha Manta Rising. Awesome. Cover looks awesome. And here's not Black Manta. Here is Aquaman with Aqualad Jackson, and they drive out to the middle of nowhere where Aquaman takes off his shirt and decides to plunge right into the water. And Jackson decides to join. Yeehaw. And then Aquaman comes out and he wants a shirt. Where does it say that? He took off his shirt, he jumped, and this was the most interesting thing. Oh yeah, is there a shirt I can borrow around here? And so he said, look at this. Does this look like a trading post to you? And this lady who's being super kind says, oh, I'll find something. And she's traitor. Oh, you're going to give him a shirt. Anyway, Aquaman uses his aquakinesis or whatever, and he starts communicating to all the fish. Why doesn't one of them pop up with a shirt? But that's besides the point. So then we go down to Atlantis, where, again, we're still getting ready for a wedding. Again, she's not marrying Aquaman. She's marrying that guy. And we have this nice picture of, Mera kind of being a little bit sad, Aquaman being a little bit sad. We go to the next page. Jackson decides to show his powers to Aquaman. It says, let's see, so we're at the very top of this one, and it says, let's see, just thinking about stuff. Oh, good stuff? It may be. It was, maybe. It can be again. We'll see. Okay. All right, cool. Anyway, I'm just got bored with that. So again, whoop, 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 here comes all these dolphins jumping out of the water. Thanks once again, friends. And so then we have a rainbow that extends, and he goes, that looks as fun. That's as fun as it looks. Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Aquakinesis is pretty cool, too. I can make rainbows, see? And so there is Aqualad's powers. He can make rainbows. And that'll be very helpful when they fight people. Distract them with the rainbow. They rebuild the lighthouse. We go back in time to Do we go back in time? No, we're just around the fire talking about stories and sea gods, and it gets really boring. And then out of the water comes the sea creature and picks up Aquaman. Wait, no, they all come running, and now we're at the end of part 2. So, besides the aquakinesis, the making rainbows, Mecha Manta Rising. Okay. So then we have all of these right here. Lex decides to. We finally find more about it by this drone that Lex is going to give Manta this thing called Mecha Manta, which is an artificial intelligence programmed using DNA and farm data to emulate your father. So, Manta's father is dead, but this has farmed data to make it representative of his father. Okay, well, that sucked. Next, issue 52. Evil Unleashed. Oh boy, I cannot wait for Evil to be unleashed, because the first two, we had a boring story, and then we had a rainbow skills. And okay, so now back to the story. Aquaman is using his aquakinesis or whatever, and he's trying to communicate with the sea beast that's not communicating with him for some reason. And so here's Aqualad, gets those water swords all ready to go. He's going to fight this sea beast. He comes running into it, and he says, "I go all stabby now." Yep, those words were written in a comic book. All right, so we continue on, and Aquaman has his trident. It was delivered to him by Blue Devil, female Blue Devil, and we got a Snickers ad right there. And we have some pretty interesting fight scenes going on between, but wait, just one second. Okay. It looks like he is on top of the Mecha Manta right here. Okay, we're cool. We got some cool fight scenes, even though this is not the fight that we were promised. Anyway, continuing on. We have the lighthouse. Aquaman gets thrown into the lighthouse. It explodes, at least the lighthouse part. And then the sea monster kind of goes away. Oh, now we're going to go back to see Mecha Manta again. This gentleman is about ready to drown. Now we're back in. We are all over the place. We are all over the place in this story. And I will tell you, I read this an hour ago before doing this, and reading this gave me a headache. And then we see this gentleman, who the last time we saw him was probably in the early 1800s, where he disappeared around the same time that a sea creature was seen. Okay. That story, a little bit better, but still, I think, sucked. We have Doom Rising. So, the hunt for Arthur Curry. All right. So now we have a part 4. Oh, how many more parts? Was exactly what I was thinking when I was buying this. Should I give up? Amnesty, Strange Beast. So we have Mara, who is very pregnant now. And we have this gentleman who appeared out of nowhere. And however, we get a little backstory from old-timey ago that he used to be able to control sea beasties. And these are the beasts that he was able to control. And then, for some reason, Jackson knows exactly who this is, because he went to school and he learned all about this gentleman in an RPG game. So he didn't learn about it in school. He just happened to be at school at the time. So he learned about this gentleman, another Snickers ad, from an RPG game. And so, why is he here? Because I was summoned, and there's another ad for something. And he gets all angry, and finally, here comes some action. Manta and Mecha Manta come out of the ocean, and oh wait, no, they don't do it yet. We're still talking. This lady yells for Arthur. Okay. Comes out of the ocean. All right. Super cool full splash page. You first. And, oh, look, Mara's out of the ocean too as she sees, and Aquaman is alive finally. And we see the doom signal in the light because of the Justice League book. That kind of goes into that. And then to be continued. So, a little bit better, not the best. Then we have an annual. Notice it's still in its wrapper. I have not read this story at all. I bought it. I was thinking about reading it. Then I listened to a podcast and they read it for me. So I spent $4.99 for nothing. Okay, then we have this. This is pretty cool. This is issue 54. This is the acetate cover, which it's entitled Black Mantas, even though in the very top corner it is called Aquaman. This is Aquaman 54 acetate, so it's a see-through gel cover, and there is the other side. So, meanwhile, back in Amnesty Bay, we have the Doom Signal, we have Manta, and we go into a flashback. We're going to learn more about Manta's father right here. So instead of a massive, big old battle, we are going to learn a little bit more about Black Manta's father, about how stern and strict and how much he, went 110%. We're back in real time now. We are fighting. Excellent. I hope that was the end of that. I love this. Aquaman. Boom, 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 boom. We have. I wish that the trident was being able to be controlled through his mind, but no. A whale just kind of flings it right into his hand. Super, super cool. We have this massive battle. There's your Snickers ad again. Followed by, oh, nope, we were in a massive battle, but now we are learning more about his father, about how they're watching a football game, and it says, man, that's not right, man. There, just watch. He's going to just get the sack on this next play, and they're all super excited. And Manta, as a younger man, says they should have just let the Knights score. And so everybody's just all up in arms, and the father just says no, because you respect the fight by never giving less than you have. So that's why they shouldn't have just let them score. So we learned that, here's another ad. So we learned that that is kind of what drives Manta, and he is going to fight Aquaman because we're going to go back in time real soon. Because, before we go back in time, Manta decides to tell Jackson that he's his dad, and he says, "No, I don't believe you." And then, or he's his dad, and that Aquaman killed his dad, or Jackson's grandfather, and he relates the story about what Aquaman did. There's Aquaman as a young man, and then they fight. You can tell I am super bored by this story. I read this. I thought about giving up. Here's Mara, very pregnant. She starts using her aquakinesis to destroy the Mecha Manta. Here is a great splash page of the sea monster and the Mecha Manta. And then they get ready to fight. And now Aquaman is unconscious and he is going to possibly drown soon. And finally, issue 55. We are done with the story. Here is the sea monster and Mecha Manta fighting. We have, let's see, Mara getting ready to use her aquakinesis to bring Arthur back from underneath the water. There's your Snickers commercial again. Followed by, so Mara saves them. Aquaman's super happy that she saved him. Then here comes Mecha Manta to destroy this aquakinesis character of Mara. Then Mara starts to take on Mecha Manta, which is going to be a pretty cool battle. She Here's this gentleman. He calms down, and then he starts reforming into the sea creature. And it says, no, you don't understand. The more hatred he feels, the more powerful the beast becomes. And so he's trying to warn them, you need to cool Manta because I am getting out of control. And then Jackson gets ready to, we have this epic battle right here. Aquaman joins in and starts fighting Manta. We have Mara and Jackson uniting together to form a super powerful water creature thing using aquakinesis to take them out. And it leaves Mara unconscious. She's, again, very pregnant. They defeat everybody, and that is the end of the story. All right, so like I said, this is Aquaman Year of the Villain, a tale of two stories. In fact, I think most of my Year of the Villain storylines might be a tale of two stories. I probably should have spelled it T-A-A-I-L, tale of two stories. Anyway, so these are the 6 or 7 with the annual stories that did all the Year of the Villain tie-in stuff. And again, just here's the second story. So this initial story was the main story that I focused on while I did the reviewing. I didn't mean that there is a tale of two stories going on, and that no. In fact, if you paid it, if you have read it or you listened to me, I would have loved to probably even explain a little bit further, but it is just so boring. It actually gave me a headache rereading this again. Here's the second story. I want to go over the success of Aquaman Year of the Villain here's the second story. And I'd love to get your feedback again through, you can either email or tweet myself at Comic Novice or comicnovice@gmail.com. But here is the second story. Now, keep in mind that the Aquaman movie came out in December of 2000 or December 21st, 2018. This second series, I believe it was done by the DeConnick Roca team that put together this book. This was their second story on Aquaman. So you'd think that this would be a relatively higher in grossing and purchases. However, I'm just going to break these things down. I'm not going to spend too much time on a couple of these pages. So the initial cover, this is the initial cover, issue number 50, price at $4.99, released the 17th of July, and sold 16,373. The variant, which is an awesome cover, $1 more because it's cardstock. It sold 9,913, which, I mean, look at that cover. That is a beautiful cover, but it is not a beautiful story at all. It's a tease because it says Black Manta returns, and it's only in the prologue that Black Manta returns. So looking at the numbers, the fused numbers out of 300 comic releases or so in the month of July, it was 93rd in sales, and it sold 26,286. Okay, not bad. However, we go to the next month, issue 51, with the total sold 15,345, and the variant is down probably about 1,000, even though the variant it really looks a lot like Jason Momoa right there. But and the total, the fused number, even though the number, it's risen from being 93rd to 87th most sold comic, the actual total numbers are actually down, followed by the next month, issue 52, which sold 14,897. The cardstock variant is down again, 1,000, and now the fused number is at 99, which the estimated total of units sold is 22,493, which is down even further. Then we have this one. There is no cardstock variant. There's 2 variants, but it's just one whole number, issue 53. The fused number is 128 out of about 300 comics produced that month. The estimated units sold 20,526. So it is falling. You have the I wish I would have saved $5 on that. You have the Aquaman annual number 2, which numbers were fused numbers as 165 out of around perhaps 300 sold. Estimated units sold 15,731. So the annual, again, annuals are annuals, so I can't really, I can mock it for having the Doom Rising Year of the Villain tie-in, but I can't review this story because I didn't read it, and I feel from what I heard from podcast, I'm lucky that I didn't hear it because it did nothing. Then you have this. Now, this is very interesting. This is the Acetate cover. It sold 19,449. Issue number 54, the cardstock variant, sold just about 5,447. The total fused number was 86 out of about 300 comics sold that month in November, with a total of 24,896 units sold. The final unit, there is no cardstock variant. There's just a variant. The total number is 17,932. So the finale to this series plummeted. The fused number is about 113 out of about 300 comics released. And here is, again, just to show you the numbers, this is the Aquaman Year of the Villain numbers. And it breaks it down from issue 50 to 51, 52. And notice, if you look at the bar graph, you'll see that it starts off pretty high with 26,286. But by the finale, nobody cared. The number decreased by about 2,000 from the 50 to 51, fell another about 1,500. The next one, it fell about 2,000. The annual, what is what it is. The question is did the Acetate cover rebound the story for collecting purposes, or are people still invested in this story? But I would argue by issue 55, with there being what would that be? That'd be about 7,000 sold drop off from 54 to 55, which means that people probably did buy the Acetate cover for collector's purposes, not because they found the story that intriguing. I probably should have given up on it. I didn't. Here is the Aquaman second story regarding the fused. The closer you are to 0 at the top line, it demonstrates, the more popular it is. The further away you are, the whatever. And so it's really easy to see that, the variant is very easy to see where it is. But that is a dramatic plunge and a good rebound, but not a good conclusion to a story. And so here is the tale of two trades. So I have picked up Unspoken Water, which was Kelly Sue DeConnick and Robinson Roca's first probably 6 stories on the Aquaman run. And I have not read them. I don't know if that would affect this, but the second run, the Amnesty, again, look at the cover for Amnesty. You have Black Manta on top with a harpoon. You have the Aquaman swimming right between his legs, and Black Manta's about ready to harpoon Aquaman. It looks so awesome. And yet here is the most frightening thing. So here's the trades. So for hardcover, Aquaman, Unspoken Water, Volume 1, price $24.99. Units sold 1,529. It is, one of those numbers, 33 or 30, represents either the total number of units sold or the total, gross or whatever. I can't remember what it was. But here is the hardcover for Volume 2, Amnesty. 557. A drop of 1,000. Look at the total number of units sold. 107, 115 for either units and or money out of the trades. Now, the Amnesty has not come out in trade paperback, but here is the trade paperback number for Unspoken Water. 1,110. This is amazing. So Thank you for watching this channel, the Aquaman, the tale of two the tale of two stories. Please leave your comments. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like. What did I do that was my commentary on this correct? Was my commentary off? Did I miss something regarding the story of amnesty? I don't know. Please leave your comments. Please email myself at the show at comicnovice@gmail.com and tweet myself at comicnovice. Thank you for checking out the channel, Brett the Comic Novice, and stay tuned for the next time where I go through Batgirl and the Year of the Villain storyline revolving around Batgirl. All right, thanks.